The second of the Group 1s on Sunday is the Chairman Sprint Prize. We're about to look at that race, but if you want to do some more research yourself, head to the website www.hkjc.com. There you'll find full profiles on not only the Chairman Sprint Prize runners, the Champions Mile as well, plus all the track notes that have been happening throughout the week, and plenty of great articles as well. All the background behind the international raiders and the local competitors. And this year's Chairman Sprint Prize, well, it features the past, the present and the future of Hong Kong's sprinting ranks. Headed by the old champion, Aero Velocity, with Zach Purton on board for Paul O'Sullivan. Mr. Stunning, Barrier 4, Joe Moran on board. Lucky Bubbles, new jockey for him. Hugh Bowman jumps on board from Barrier 3. Peniophobia, Neil Callan from Barrier 5. Amazing Kids, Brett Preble on board from 6. Not Listening to Me, Tommy Berry for John Moore. Blizzard from Barrier 8, Damien Lane flies in. Sun Jewelry, Karis Teetan from 11. The Wizard of Oz and Chad Schofield off the inside. Strathmore from 2. Dundonald from 9. And Dashing Fellow with a visitor's draw. He's come up with Barrier 12. Now, before we get into the form in a little bit more depth, let's reflect on a fantastic and great career of multiple Group 1 winner. That's Aero Velocity with his jockey Zach Purton and trainer Paul O'Sullivan.
Aero Velocity, he's kicking on the inside. Penophobia's got the job to get him. Aero keeps kicking and Zach Purton takes out the sprint on Aero Velocity.
From my point of view, we've been fortunate enough to train a lot of good horses. He's not the best one, but he's certainly the toughest.
Aero Velocity jumping out of the ground. Aero Velocity goes to Sun Moon. Hong Kong gets up and wins.
Whenever he's been in a fight, he's always been able to put his head out and get the job done. And he's done it under adversity. He's done it on different tracks. He's done it in different countries. You know, he's in my eye, he's a star.
Aero Velocity in front, Lucky Bubbles trying to reach him. Aero Velocity, what a grand 8-year-old he is. He takes his second sprint.
Zach, when did he first give you the feel that he was something out of the box?
He never really did. He was always an unassuming horse. He was very tough, he was a very strong competitor, but every time he'd go out and race, he'd only just win. It was nothing flash, he never demolished a field or done anything special. And every time I'd get off him, I'd say to Paul, oh, I think we can win one more race, and we'd win that one and go, I think we can win one more, and that just continued to happen until he got to the level he was at. But yeah, it was, I suppose that adds to part of the story as well.
Was he the horse that changed your fortunes here in Hong Kong, is that fair to say?
Oh yeah, fair to say, and you see it many times, you know, people are struggling a little bit for one reason or another. A good horse comes along and away they go, and it can be career changing. And you know, you look around, the boxes are full. So, and there's another story upstairs. Well, we didn't have the other story upstairs, you know, before he came along. So he's been a great help. Looking
at the big wins in his career as well too, we'll start off with the Hong Kong Sprint, of course, in 2014. He had no luck in the lead-up race. Did we both go into the race feeling confident? Yeah, we did. You know, his form was pretty good, and if he didn't get knocked down in that lead-up race, he probably would have gone on to win that race. So we felt he was in the right frame of mind, and we just need a little bit of luck, as you do in every race, and you know, thankfully he went out and got the job done. And was the plan then, after that, Paul, to travel him? Well, then the opportunity came up to take him over to Japan, and it came at the right time of the year. I think one of the big sprints had been cancelled, so you know, we took up that option. It was a wonderful result. What about Singapore, Paul? Yeah, well, Singapore, you know, we went into Singapore pretty confident, you know, for all the right reasons. You know, after Japan, and he'd held his form well, and was a confident rider. He got the job done pretty easily. But you know, he was a very difficult horse to travel away and to handle at times. But you know, he keeps stepping up. His most recent win, Zach, the 2016 Hong Kong Sprint, 2 placings in the 2 lead-up races. But as an older horse, were you worried that his best might have been behind him? Yeah, I was thinking it was behind him. I'd mentioned to Paul in his couple of starts that season leading into that race that I thought we were losing him. He wasn't giving me the same feel that he had previously, and I had a little bit of concern about where he was at that level. But you know, he just pulled that run out of nowhere. You know, it was a great feeling. It was very satisfying. It's probably the most rewarding win that he's given us out of all of them. So will we get that fairy tale finish? Is there one more big race left in? We'll find out on Sunday. Very pleased to say Steve Moran's still with me, but Karis Teetan has replaced Ed Walker. Karis, of course, you'll be riding Stormy Antarctic on Sunday as well, but we're here to talk about Sun Jewelry, but you're in a unique position because you've actually ridden just about half the field.
Yes, it's a pleasure to be here. Of course, it's a big race, and it's just nice to have a ride in a race, and like you say, I've ridden almost the full court in this race.
But Mr. Stunning, of course,
yeah,
for the first 3 starts of his career.
Yeah, for sure. He was just a nice horse, and I was actually what a pleasure to be able to sit on him from his start.
What about Sun Jewelry though? Because he was an outstanding 4-year-old, sort of lost his way a little bit, but is he on the way back?
Yes, about I think 3 runs ago I rode him and he did not actually perform that well, and I'm sure John has figured out something, and his last 2 runs sort of look like he's coming back a little bit on form again, and his trial last week was pretty good. I did not chase him. I let him find his feet, and he really hold the bit again and finish on very strong. So on a trial like that, on his last 2 runs, actually going to the race, I'll be a little bit confident on him.
And for barrier 11, what do you do? I mean, his normal profile is to sort of back midfield, but barrier 11 maybe doesn't give you too many options anyway.
Yes, you know, in this sprint of race, it's always a messy race on the inside. Of course, so many good horses he's drawn on the inside, and I know what's going to happen. There'll be few horses on top of each other, and there will be somebody having somebody tight. It's not the ideal of a draw to be 11, but the good thing of it, I could be able to track a horse like Blizzard, amazing kid, that going forward in a 3-wide position, I could be tracking a horse like them, and I could just have a nice clean run by myself.
The pace will come from Paniophobia, Steve, from barrier 5.
Yes, indeed. He looks the clear leader, but beyond that, it then becomes a little bit complicated, doesn't it? Aero velocity drawn 10 would, generally speaking, slide forward. You know, Mr. Stunning is capable of holding a position, but how aggressive Joe would want to be in the early part of the race, I'm not too sure. You know, amazing kids not listening to me. Karis's Mount Sun Jewelry, the Wizard of Oz, I think now drawn 1, will be wanting to hold a spot. But I think it's a bit... The speed mat's messy, and as Karis touched on, the first 300 metres of the race might be messy as well.
Mr. Stunning, Steve, there was no fluke about his win over Paniophobia last time, was there?
No, there wasn't. I guess he had all favours. The race panned out perfectly for him. So if you were looking to say, well, did that win go into the level weights against these established sprinters say to you he's a certainty when he steps out on Sunday? I'd say probably not. It certainly says he's still the horse to beat. He's drawn 4 again here if he gets the right run. And his record, he's built this fantastic record. 7 out of 10, I think a couple of those defeats are when interestingly, he was probably ridden a touch too aggressively. You know, I think Joe would just be looking to land, 5th, 6th, 7th with some cover, and so he's the horse to beat.
So John sides with 4 in the race, plenty of strength in depth, but the undoubted number 1 is Mr. Stunning.
Yeah, it's probably a similar test as the last one. He had a lot of luck. It was a very lucky race for him, and he's able to capitalise on that. That's probably his best run, of course, of his career, and whether he can repeat that is up to him. But he's done well at home. He looks good. He seems fit and healthy. So hopefully he runs well again.
So there you go, 4 in the race, and probably the favourite as well. What's he like, Karis, to work for generally? He's very quietly spoken, keeps himself to himself, John, but the results speak for themselves.
Yeah, I'm just so grateful that I could be able to ride for him, and he does support me a lot. We have a joke on ride the lightweight, and he gave me a call. So it's such a pleasure to ride for a man like that. He's so professional. Before races, he get that piece of paper where he drew the whole race, and he explained to us, and he's very professional, and he give us so much detail that he make our jobs when we go out there pretty easy. So we know what's going on around us here.
It's a few more we need to touch on, Steve. Lucky Bubbles, jockey change. Francis Lloyd's even said Brett's done nothing wrong. They just want to change things up, see if it makes a difference. Yes, it's a change of circumstances, isn't it, for Brett, who, in a sense, has owned this race to some degree in the last 10 years with 4 wins, but fate taken out of his hands this year. Look, Lucky Bubbles, well, A, Brett did nothing wrong, first up. B's run was still satisfactory, and C's previous 8 starts had yielded 3 wins in 5 seconds. At this sort of level, as he gradually emerged, he's a very, very good sprinting horse who stretched Chautauqua in the race last year. He'll run a super race again. Yeah, and Plenty of depth to the race. We've got Not Listening to Me. Blizzard as well is an interesting runner.
And I think you can't overlook Penophobia. You know, from gate 5, if he leads, and if he really begins as well as he sometimes can and just lands a length in front, very horse to get past when he's on song, and I don't think there's anything much wrong with his recent form. All
right, so with Karis's insights and what you've seen this week as well out at track work, the top 4 of the Chairman's Sprint Prize.
Yeah, 2, Mr. Stunning. I think he has to be the top pick in the race. I can't understand why there seems to be a vibe against Penophobia. I think he's clearly the main danger. 3, Lucky Bubbles, and 9, the Wizard of Oz. 2, 4, 3 and 9 for me in the sprint. Andrew?
All right, well, the coverage on Sunday, 2 Group 1s, races 7 and 8 on the programme, 4 o'clock and 4:40 local time, of course, here at Sha Tin. Our trackside coverage starts at 12:30 again, local time, and you can see the races live on the website, hkjc.com, and of course the Twitter as well. All the news coming through there, hkjc_racing. Well, good luck on Sunday, Karis, not only with Sunjoy, but with Stormy Antarctic. So it'll be the first time, obviously, you're sitting him on a race day.
Yes, yeah, thank you so much. It will be a big race day and a lot of interesting horses running, so looking forward to that.
All right, well, I speak to the winning jockeys after the race, so hopefully we'll chat then.
I hope it will be me.
And Steve, as always, always a pleasure.
Fantastic. Great to be part of it again, and thanks for having me on, and I'm looking forward in particular to the sprint on Sunday. I think it'll be intense, competitive and exciting, and great to be here again.
Absolutely. Well, on behalf of Karis, Steve and Ed Walker, of course, who joined us for the Champions Mile, that's the show. Thanks for watching. Hopefully we can count on your company again on Sunday for those 2 Group 1s, the Champions Mile, and we'll find out who is the quickest of the quick in the Chairman's Sprint Prize.